She's all clean now. What's going on, everybody, today? So day 2 of trying to get Jesse's air dog completely installed. We'll see how it goes. So before we pop the top off of the sending unit, off of the tank, I just want to explain one thing real quick that I think I forgot yesterday. So everybody kind of gets the gist of an aftermarket performance lift pump, better mechanics, better fuel supply to your injection pump. Now on a diesel, pretty much every diesel could benefit this. Even if your truck is completely stock, nothing else done to it, you can benefit from that, not only from the better pump aspect of that, but on diesels, the air separation part of that pump. So these pumps actually have a air separator, and basically what that's doing is, even on a stock truck, you know, from your fuel sloshing back and forth in the tank, it introduces air into the system. So basically what that's doing, by the time it gets to your injection pump, it gets to your injectors, it's basically not very good for it. What this pump does, besides, like I mentioned, the pump capabilities, is separate that air, and that's what that second filter actually is. It's part of that air separation part. So if you're in the market and you have a diesel, you know, you're getting air in your system, you know, just naturally. So I wasn't paid to say that. I'm just letting you know there are benefits to putting one of these on a stock-ish truck. So pretty much the way that I do my modifications is, you know, intake, exhaust, tuner, you know, maybe some other small bolt-on modifications. Then you go right into the lift pump. You can put a lift pump on right when you get it home. It doesn't make a difference. It's not only performance-wise. I did get a couple questions. AirDog makes I think 100, 165, and then they're 200. Now pretty much your 165 is your kind of basic go-to lift pump. If you're planning on making a little bit of horsepower down the road, just go right to the 165. That's pretty much what all these trucks will get. Even if Jesse's truck was going to try and make like 500 or 600 horse, which they do pretty easily, it'd be getting a 165. I don't know, the 200, that 165 can support quite a bit of horsepower. Up into the 1,000 horsepower range. So as far as needing a 200 or dual pumps like that, that's really like some serious competition stuff. It's actually a little windier right now, so I'm curious to see if these things are working. So, but anyway, no more rambling. What we're gonna do next is basically this spins off, and then the whole sending unit will come out of there, and then we're gonna modify that, get the tank all cleaned up, put that back together. I'll explain to you why we're doing that. All right, so obviously very important to try and stay as clean as possible. The more dirt you get in there, the more dirt you gotta clean out, so. That just needs a little persuasion there to squeeze out. Before I mentioned, you can tell this has like a little locating ring. Oh, you can't see it. Let me put it back down. No, I don't want to do that. Okay, so this has a little locating tab right here. And you can kind of see there's a little bit of writing right here. So that's the orientation of the sending unit. This has still got quite a bit of fuel in it. So we're going to go dump that out. Alright guys, so here are the main reasons why I dropped the tank. Number one, you can see all these shavings that I really need to clean up with a razor. This is the top part of the plastic that I always like to trim and make smooth. That's number one. That's not really a big deal. You can do that with the tank still in the truck. So, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see in there. I'll show you guys when I clean it all out. But there's your stock pump. Your stock pump basically sits in this little triangle piece. Down inside there, okay, maybe you're not going to be able to see it, but down inside there is a little filter screen. And that filter screen, I'll show you when I take it out, is going to be completely clogged up, full of nasty, nasty crap. I can guarantee you that. So what I mentioned before, this is now your AirDog return. This is still your factory return line. I completely remove the factory supply line completely out of the truck, seeing that we do not need it anymore. Now, what these lines do is they come down into your stock pump. This is basically your stock returns down back in here. What we're going to do, we're going to remove the pump. This is going to be utilized, so we're going to string that down there and basically just remove all of this crap. What we also do, and this is kind of just stuck on here, okay, so you can kind of see there's some crap in there. That's not a big deal, but wait until you see the crap that's down inside here. Oh, there you go, there's a money shot. Yeah, that's all kind of nasty. Basically what I also do is I take a hole saw and I punch this whole entire bottom out. Seeing that fuel is just returning here, you know, we don't want to restrict fuel getting to that fuel sump that's basically directly underneath here. So instead of the fuel trying to go through the top here and around the sides, you know, then it has basically a big opening right on the bottom to gain access to the fuel sump right below it as well. So I'm gonna set you guys up on fast forward and I'll go over when I'm all done. All right, before we get started, I just want to show you guys one thing. I just dumped the rest of the fuel out of that accidentally onto this mat. Look at the crap that came out of the bottom of that sending unit. All on my fingers. Take a look at that. So without dropping the tank, guess where that's all going? That's all going right into your brand new lift pump, and if you didn't have bad injectors, hopefully, well, I shouldn't say it's going to make it to your injectors. The filters will pick that up, but definitely not something you want to have happen right after you get done installing something. All right, so you can actually, if you're going to do this, if you are working on this, you can actually reuse the Beans hole saw, which is a 3-inch hole saw, to drill this out on the bottom. Just kind of got to be careful because this is kind of thin plastic. There we go. There's the money shot. Nice. Okay, so I cut that piece out as well. Probably can't see, but that is not a straight through opening. Straighten these out. Now these are just straight returns. Okay, just zip tying the leads for your factory motor out of the way. Okay guys, and that's pretty much it. Just an empty shell now, just 2 returns. The fuel level sensor. What we're gonna do now that we hole sawed through the bottom of this is we're just gonna go around with the razor, get all those edges cleaned up, and then clean this up extremely well, and then also clean up the bottom of the fuel tank. Alrighty guys, if I didn't mention, obviously cleanliness is key going forward. Got the top of the tank really scrubbed down. A shop vac is definitely your friend here, and use one of these small scrubber brushes to get around there while you're vacuuming. Inside of the tank, completely cleaned out. You wouldn't believe just what kind of crap is sitting in there. Now that I made everybody paranoid about the inside of your fuel tank being completely dirty, but cleaned up the O-ring. Another key thing that you can do now is, seeing that it's a little bit of a pain to do while it's in, the sending unit is sprung, it sits against there, so while you're trying to fish this piece up in there, it's a little difficult. So we're going to clean that off real quick. We actually put that in first, then put the sending unit on top of it. That's clean. Set that down in there in the hole. Got the modified sending unit all done, back ready to go together. The last thing I didn't do yet is actually scrub the ring right here, so I'm going to do that now, get that cleaned up, and we'll put that back on. Okay, that's all set. I'm going to push this down. Get that started. Okay. Bottom that out. Give her one good vacuum again. Give the bottom another quick check here. You can see I cleaned up all around there. Now's a good time to make sure you don't have any, sorry, I was talking like right into the camera there. Make sure you don't have any high spots, because it's got to sit flush. Okay, that's good. Pretty much ready to throw her back up in the truck. Actually, hold on, pause 1 second. We do have one more step. Flip this back over. The other thing I like to do now is take your air dog fitting that is supposed to go right here, push that quick connect on there, and run that hose up here now. That way you don't have to connect it when it's up in the truck. All you got to do is hook up your factory return, plug that back in with the harness, and you're good to go. Okay guys, final shot before she goes back up into the tank. Got the smaller air dog fitting with the 1/2-inch black hose that we usually use hooked up right there, all cleaned up, ready to go. All right guys, let me catch up with you guys because I've done quite a bit. Oh, it's taken a little bit longer than expected, but got the bean sump all fastened up underneath here. One quick mention on this, they do give you a torque spec, I believe. I can't even remember exactly what it is, but they do give you a torque spec. I did have one leak on me when I torqued it to that. I called them up. They basically said, go until it's pretty snug. It is an Allen head, a fairly shallow Allen head at that. So you really got to be careful not to strip that out when you're really cranking on it. You don't want to go too crazy tight. It is an O-ring seal to the tank, but got the factory line. There is enough room to squeeze it right up here. So from the side of the truck, you really barely see it. It's not really super noticeable. Coming underneath the truck, I do have that line already run up on top of the fuel tank and then also hooked up into the inlet part of the pump. The return actually comes from up here, kind of loops around, uses this 90-degree fitting right here. So really the only line left is the one going all the way to the front by the CP3, so we got that yet to make. Have to throw the drive shaft back in, but the tank securely fastened, sump securely fastened, got the electrical connections up there already tightened, zip tied. These hoses, let me see if you can see here. So you can run them along top there, and there is enough room to really kind of squeeze them here. You guys can't see, I'm sorry. But there is room to squeeze them there on the right-hand side and run them up along the fuel tank. Gives it a really clean look. All you can really see is them ducked down right here. Got the pump plugged in. Started to run the harness. That's got to get run up to the front. Basically trying to wrap everything up in the back, work my way forward. I'm just kidding. It's just sitting on there, guys. It's just sitting on there. I had it sitting in the basement from another kit that I had a while ago, but it's just sitting on there for now. It looks ridiculous. I can't even, right now, without the truck sitting on the ground on wheels and that being super really tall, I can't even get an idea of what it's gonna look like. But it's way too tall, that's for sure. But I just wanted to sit it on there, guys. You can't even tell. Let me give you another view. Let me walk around this trailer here. I got the last of the curled section of the hose, trying to straighten that out. Homemade straightener right there. Yeah, I mean, you just can't tell. You can't. It looks way too tall. I got to get the truck out in the open and really take a good, long, hard look at it. I got to get the wheels on it. I got to get it sitting the way I want it to get sat, and sitting to get sat. Yeah, I don't know. Don't ask me. But anyway, there you go. Just want to give you guys a little teaser. Still very undecided about the whole thing. I know some people are going to love it. Some people are going to hate it. But we'll see what we end up doing. I don't know. All right, guys, so now all that's really left, now that we got the whole back of the truck buttoned up, the fuel tanks buttoned up, the return, the supply to the pump, really just we're working from the pump forward now. So that's basically one main line that goes right to the feed of your CP3. This is the high pressure line going to your rail, and here is your feed and your return. What we need to do is take the factory supply off, get that completely removed out of the way. I got that pretty much halfway removed. We'll get that the rest of the way removed. And the other thing we're going to be doing is removing the fuel filter. So we got a fleece fuel filter delete block that's going in. I will show you guys that and the benefits of the one that we got. Okay, so here is the fleece fuel filter delete. Basically is just joining where your return runs through your factory fuel filter kind of block housing. The factory return kind of runs through that, has a banjo that goes on this side, banjo that goes on that side. Also, one thing that you're gonna need to know, this is important, if you are going to delete your fuel filter housing and your fuel filter from the truck, basically this port that they have on here, your water and fuel sensor, you basically need to keep that sensor in the factory plug. Now, if you take it off, and I will show you guys when we take it off, if you throw that sensor out and you just leave the plug unplugged, it will set a light. What you need to do is keep that sensor and leave it, plug it in. Now, you can zip tie it out of the way just with the sensor plugged in, but Fleece does a nice job. They can just give you a place to plug it in. Now, that is where we're at with that. Again, guys, I just want to mention, I believe it's like a whole page back now, but if you want a legitimate step-by-step how to remove the fuel filter bowl and installing the AirDog step-by-step, got a truck passing by over here. I did a complete step-by-step, way more detailed than what I'm doing now. So scroll back, check out some of my older videos. I promise you won't be disappointed. All right, guys, excuse the light. It's getting a little late again here. So here's your stock fuel filter housing. This is, let me just explain to you guys real quick because this will help you immensely. This is your factory supply line. Now, the biggest challenge of taking this out is there's a 10mm bolt here that actually holds in the factory return. Now, if you're not familiar, you will take out, you know, the obvious banjo bolt in the back. There is a banjo bolt in the front. This is your factory supply as well. Kind of comes through here, runs through the fuel filter, comes through here to your CP3. Now, the easy Banjo 1, Banjo 2, this is actually your water fuel separate. I'm sorry, water in fuel sensor, which that's the part that needs to come out. Undo the banjo from the CP3. This little 10mm bolt that's right down here that you cannot see, it will not come out until you take that 10mm bolt out, which holds the factory hard return. So hopefully that gives you a little help. But what we're going to do now is we're going to take out that sensor, put it in the fleece block, and then we're going to run the supply from the AirDog pump to our CP3, which we have that fitting right now. Oh, and we dropped it. All right, guys, so here's where we're ending today. Got a little flash of my light. That way you guys can actually see something, but completely out of light. But I got all the fuel lines on. We'll get that fleece kit hooked up tomorrow and call her done. This whole no light thing really sucks. All right, guys, let's wrap up this video real quick. I actually went inside, showered, ate, shaved, haircut. The wife made chicken parm. That's right. But she's the best. She puts up with so much stuff, so she deserves a huge shout out. But anyway, guys, with these videos, you know, I hope that most of you guys enjoy some of the informational videos. I know like the last couple ones have been more informational rather than just kind of entertainment, I guess you would call it. So that's what I'm trying to do. I mean, my point with this channel a little bit was not only to have fun, make videos, but really try to give you guys tips, tricks, and try and make your lives easier with installing some of this stuff. So hopefully some of you guys get some of that out of these videos. I really do appreciate all the support that you guys give me all the time in the comments, with the likes and the comments. It really does mean a lot. It helps me keep motivated to keep pushing forward. There is a ton of stuff coming for you guys. I have a meeting tomorrow going over a project that is going to be coming up, which you guys will find out soon enough. I promise. I'm dying to tell you, but as soon as it's kind of final stages, then we'll go over that. So anyway, guys, thank you so much as always for watching. Like I mentioned, I appreciate the hell out of you guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. Hit the like button. Please subscribe. See you tomorrow.
Where are you going? Going so fast tonight. Have you ever